What would you do if $5,000 was deposited into your business bank account? It happened to me. A few months ago, I won Poshmark's Heart and Hustle Community Fund grant, and they gave me $5,000 to put into my reselling business. Today's video is actually in collaboration with one of my PFFs, Jamie from Shop Sonder. She is also a Heart and Hustle grant winner, and we wanted to share some tips for you guys if you are interested in applying for any of the future rounds. So if you guys are interested in finding out how we were able to win some money from Poshmark, stay tuned. Like I said, this video is in collaboration with Jamie from Shop Sonder. She has a YouTube channel here. She's also active on Instagram and Poshmark. If you guys aren't following her already, definitely give her a follow. Jamie is my Pisces reselling Filipina twin. I swear, I am so happy that we've gotten close over Instagram. I cannot wait until we finally get to meet and hang out in person, but I'm really excited because, like I said, she also won the Heart and Hustle campaign. She was one of the $500 grant winners, so I thought it would be cool to have both of our perspectives on how we were able to win the money from Poshmark. So after you guys are done watching this video, I will link hers down below. Make sure you guys go watch hers as well so you guys get the whole experience. You already know though, before we get into it, I'm doing my reseller highlight, and today I am highlighting probably one of my favorite Poshmark closets. Definitely one of the Poshmark closets that I've purchased from the most, and it is Wild Virgo Vintage. This is ran by Dana. I have followed her on Instagram for a while now, and I'm obsessed with everything that she sells. If you guys remember this photo of me from PoshFest 2019, this is another Wild Virgo vintage piece, probably one of my favorites, but I'm really happy because I got this vintage polo jeans knit ribbed sweater, and it's like a red and a navy blue. I'm actually gonna crop it so that it fits a little bit shorter. That's kind of more my style, but I absolutely love this. She had some like Tommy Hilfiger ones in her closet, but they sold out before I could snatch them, so I picked this one up. Definitely keep an eye out on her closet. She does drops pretty frequently, and she has some of the best stuff, honestly. If you like Y2K, kind of streetwear stuff, definitely give her a follow. Like I said, she's one of my favorites. Even just her personal style on her Instagram is amazing. Pause the video now, go follow. You won't regret it. Alright, so now getting into the video. So Jamie and I won the first round of the Heart and Hustle campaign. There are 4 rounds for each season. The second round has already finished, and I believe we're all just waiting to see who the winners are. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to be announcing that, but there are still 2 more rounds that will be coming up this year, and so we wanted to make this a video for anybody who might be interested in applying for either of those rounds. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing 3 tips on my channel, and then Jamie will be sharing 3 tips in her video as well. I think that this next round coming up is going to be from a smaller pool, at least for the $5,000 grant. You do have to make a certain amount of sales within the time span, and going into the fall round, or the 3rd round, I'm not sure what season it is, I just have an inkling that there's going to be less people who will qualify for the $5,000 round, since sales were slower during summer. During like June and July, I believe, is where they are pulling those sales numbers from. So if you do qualify for the $5,000 grant, I highly recommend applying for it this time around, because I just have a feeling that there's gonna be less people who are applying this time, so you have a better chance. As for the $500 one, I'm not sure, because it is a lesser amount of sales that you have had to make during this time frame. So for the people who couldn't apply for the $5,000 grant, they're going to be going down into the $500 grant. Okay, you guys, so here are my 3 tips that you need to keep in mind when you are applying for the Poshmark Heart and Hustle Community Fund. Number 1 is to talk about how Poshmark has made a difference in your life. For example, if you're a full-time reseller, talk about how how you made that leap into becoming full-time. If you are a part-time seller, talk about what you use your funds for. Are you trying to save for a house? Are you trying to pay off school? How has Poshmark helped you along in your journey? I personally spoke about how I moved to the Pacific Northwest because my fiance and I bought a coffee shop, but once the pandemic hit, we were forced to close, and so I leaned into becoming a reseller full-time in order to provide for my family. Luckily, I already had income coming in from Poshmark, but without it, we would have been struggling a lot. In 2020, I was struggling a lot. You guys can watch my application video here. I will link it up above, but I talked a lot about how I struggled a lot in 2020. There were multiple reasons, but one of them was because we moved up here to the Pacific Northwest, and I really don't have any friends up here. I still don't have any real friends locally. So I leaned into the online Poshmark community, and I realized I have a lot of really good friends. Even though I only talk to them on the internet or through my phone, I still have a really good community and a really good group of people who have been so supportive and so helpful, so loving, so welcoming and kind. It's so crazy how I've been able to make friends who literally live on the other side of the country. Some even live in Canada, and you know, these are people that I talk to regularly and have developed real relationships with. So I talked a lot about the relationships that I've made in the Poshmark community in my application, because I just wanted Poshmark to know, you know, it's more than just a job for me. This is truly my life. So many of my friendships have developed because of the Poshmark community, and for that I'm really grateful. But I urge you to look into how Poshmark has changed your life. As long as it's personal and you're not just saying like, oh, Poshmark helped me clear out my closet, and you know, like, as long as there's a meaning into what you're saying, Poshmark is really gonna like that. But I just feel like the more that you involve yourself in the community and can show how Poshmark has made an impact in your life, the better, and the more it will stand out in your application. My second tip is to share how you would use the Heart and Hustle funds to grow your business. They want to know that you are going to stay active in the community and that you are going to continue to resell. They don't want to just give you money so that you can use it to take a trip or to go on a vacation, you know. They just want to know that you're going to be putting the money back into your business, or you're going to be finding a way to give back to the community somehow. I didn't talk about what I was going to be using the money for in my application video. I used the video to talk more about how much the community meant to me, which was my first tip, but I have watched some awesome application videos where people were explaining that they needed to do like a reno to their house so that they could have a Poshmark office, or that people were looking to buy inventory or grow their reseller business some other way. So if you do want to go that way with your application video, I think that's totally fine, but you don't have to. But you don't have to lay out your whole spending plan in the video. I saved all of that information for my application, and I actually went a little bit more in depth onto what areas of my business I wanted to work on with the grant money. I didn't get so specific that I was saying exactly how every single dollar was going to be spent, but I did say that I wanted to buy a new camera, and that ranged around this price, that I wanted to put money into improving my inventory system, and this was going to cost approximately this price. And I didn't have the whole $5,000 mapped out, and I still have a lot of the money actually. If you guys want to know exactly what I spent so far, stay until the end of the video, because I'm going to be sharing that as well as what I hope to spend the rest of the money on later. But if you don't know what you want to spend your money on, you can be a little bit more general about it. You can always just say that you want to grow your reselling business, improve your inventory systems, or something kind of broad so that you don't have to get too specific. And this brings me to my third and final tip, but make sure that you guys are hopping over onto Jamie's channel after this so that you guys can get 3 more tips. So my last point is to talk about your goals. Where do you see your Poshmark business in 5 years? Are you still reselling from a room in your house? Do you want to one day own a warehouse or a brick and mortar store? If your goals aren't directly related to Poshmark, like maybe you want to move to another state and buy a house or something, talk about how Poshmark is going to get you there. When you're making these videos, or when you're talking about your application, try to include Poshmark as much as possible. How is Poshmark going to get you from A to B? How has Poshmark changed your life? How has Poshmark helped you with this situation? Whatever it is, make sure that Poshmark is like right dab in the middle of it, because they want to know how important they are in your life. In my application, I actually talked about how I started a YouTube channel and I wanted to make reseller content that was focused on helping other people start or run their own successful reselling business. I was honestly nervous to talk about it because I wasn't sure how Poshmark would feel about me using my money on like a different platform. Obviously YouTube and Poshmark don't really have any connection, but I talked about how having my YouTube channel was a way for me to give back to the community, how I wanted to share my hauls and do all of these things and give people a reason to shop on Poshmark or sell on Poshmark or be a part of the Poshmark community. I talked about how I wanted to buy a camera, which is what I'm filming on right now, and also purchase other software that would help me, you know, edit videos and other tools that would help me run my YouTube channel. That was a very specific thing for me to talk about, but I also talked about how I wanted to use some of the money to improve my inventory system. I'm still working on that. I haven't found exactly the way that I want it, but my Poshmark has definitely grown. I've went from 200 active listings to now over 700 active listings, so I've definitely had to buy more equipment to maintain all of that inventory. And I also talked about how I just wanted to have Poshmark be a steady income for my family. Since I am the main breadwinner of my family, I wanted to find other ways that I could make consistent sales, increase my average monthly sales, and stay on the platform and really run a successful business full-time. This grant really is an amazing opportunity for the Poshmark community. It really shows that Poshmark cares about its sellers and wants to see us win, because of course when we win, Poshmark wins, right? Honestly, I'm really thankful. I mean, I never would have imagined that I would have won this. I know that there were so many other applicants who could be where I am right now. And so to Poshmark, I am so thankful. And also to the Poshmark community, you know, you guys have been my friends when I had no friends. And you guys have supported me on Instagram, on Poshmark, and here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much. But if you guys are thinking about applying, please do it. I chatted with a few people who applied in the last round. I put up on my Instagram story that if anybody was interested, I would help you guys fill out your applications or give you ideas on what to film for your application video. That offer remains open. I'm hoping that this video can answer some of your guys' questions, or maybe Jamie's video can help you guys. But in case you guys need any more assistance, you can always DM me on Instagram and I will be more than happy to give you some tips, or maybe just give you like a second opinion on any of your ideas that you have for your video. Now for the juicy part, I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I've already purchased and some of the things that I'm hoping to purchase in the future with the $5,000 that Poshmark gave me. I haven't spent all of it. If I really wanted to, I could spend it real quick, but I'm trying to make it, you know, spread out a little bit and only invest in things that are really going to help my business, not just spending it on like a whole bunch of inventory, if you know what I mean. So the biggest purchase that I've made so far is actually the camera that I am filming on right now. It is a Canon G7X Mark II and I am obsessed with it. I have been wanting this camera like ever since I decided that I wanted to be a YouTuber like a year ago, but you know, didn't do anything about it. But I'm so happy that I finally have this because it is amazing. I used to film on my iPhone 8. I just recently upgraded to an iPhone 12, so I'll probably also be filming on this, but I absolutely love this camera. It is amazing. I also bought some accessories for it, like a little tripod and some extra memory cards and batteries and things like that. The second biggest like single purchase that I made was a Rollo printer. And let me tell you, I was using a Dymo previously and I had it for about, I want to say 3 or 4 years, and by far, a Rollo is a way better, way better thermal printer. So if you guys are in the market for a thermal printer and don't know which one to buy, take my word for it, the Rollo is way better. Like I mentioned earlier, I have been buying more inventory, which is another thing that I've been spending the money on, but with more inventory also comes more inventory storage. And so I've been buying a lot more totes that my inventory's been stored in. Those are just like the big 56 quart plastic tubs. And I've also been trying to find different ways to ship my items. So I've invested in like plastic poly mailer bags. I've invested in some branding supplies like stickers and other things like that, just to kind of spice up my inventory. I've also used some of the money to invest in software and some other programs and services that are helping my business run a little bit more efficiently. If you guys want a video on that, let me know. But I am hoping that I can find other ways to invest this money so that I can make my business work for me rather than me overworking for my business. Hopefully that makes sense. And then of course I've been using it for like just the regular monthly expenses that I have on certain cross-listing services, hiring VAs, hiring out other things like that. Also like shipping supplies, all the random things that you buy off like Amazon or wherever. Moving forward, I'm hoping to use some of the money to invest in a little bit more education for myself. There are a few kind of courses and mentorships that I've been looking at that I really want to take. One, for example, is from Denali or El Ducho Thrift. She has a course on how to hire a VA. So I want to take that. I haven't purchased it yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. I also actually bought another course, which was by my other friend, Chriselle, aka Krangly. I've bought actually every single course that she's put out. So this course is how to make an e-course or how to build your own e-course. I'm not sure yet if that's really the direction that I want to go, but I wanted to take it just so that I can learn. I just love learning. I love learning new things, and since I'm not in school right now, I try to find different courses and mentorships that I can take just to, you know, keep my brain working. In terms of educating myself, this money's also going into buying like different business books and self-development books that will help me on my journey as an entrepreneur slash small business owner. I've also been like toying around with the idea of doing like a thrift trip where we go maybe on like a road trip or something and do a bunch of thrifting along the way, and this money could help pay for those kinds of expenses since that would be like a business trip. Speaking of business trips, I haven't made my decision yet, but if I do decide to go to Posh Fest this year, then this money would also help pay for that. At the moment, I'm not really sure what else I want to spend this money on. If like a big expense comes up or if a big opportunity for inventory or something else pops up, then I'd like to have money saved so that I can afford those things. I don't want to just like blow it all on new inventory or anything. I want to make sure that it's like a calculated decision and that it is the right decision. So I'm curious, if you guys won, whether $500 or $5,000, what is a big purchase that you would make for your reselling business? I'd love to hear it. So leave it down below in the comments. Again, I want to say thank you to Poshmark. Thank you to everybody who has been along on my reselling journey. We've definitely come a long way. But I also want to say congratulations to everybody who has won so far. And also I want to send out good luck and good vibes to all of the people who are still applying. I really hope that these tips help you guys with your application process. Again, do not forget to check out Jamie's video. I will link that down below so you guys can learn a little bit more about her journey and her tips for the Heart and Hustle campaign. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys want to see more content from me, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button down below as well as the bell right next to it so you can get notified every time I put up a video. And that's it for today. I will see you guys next time. Bye!